What's going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. This time it's Superman. It's an older figure from Christopher Reeve, and you can't purchase this figure anymore, but if you're interested in any more hot toys, head over to bigbadtoystore.com. Just click the link down below. It's $4 shipping, and they double box your figure, so even your friendly UPS guy cannot damage your packaging. And this is the packaging. Speaking of packaging, one of the best ever that Hot Toys has ever done, if not the best. This is a huge box because it does come with this nice base, diorama base, which is the Fortress of Solitude, and the box itself is already worth $50 in my opinion. They've never done a box better than this, even on DX figures. You can make an argument for DX13, which is the Arnold's. That's more of a leather type box, kind of like indicating like the Terminator 2. But still, the combination of colors, the artistic, I guess, nature. I mean, creating a box that's shaped like an emblem of Superman. I'm sure it's a challenge by itself. Then putting it, back in the day, this is my first Hot Toys that my wife bought me, and I never knew about the shipper box and all that stuff. I wish I didn't throw it away because this guy, I couldn't display the box because it's huge and it's a pain in the ass to store really because of the shape of it. But I'm just happy that it's there, and the accessory that comes with it's not much. You can see the open palm hands, the close-fisted hands, the flight pose hands, and you can see the now I can call it a classic oval stand, the Superman the movie, and those are flight hands. Just nothing too fancy type of accessories with this guy. If you get the special edition, you'll get the kryptonite necklace or something like that. It doesn't light up. It's nice. It's a nice piece. But nowadays, if you are gonna buy the exclusive edition, I think it's gonna run you a little bit more than the regular version. And is it worth it? It's a necklace. Now, and if you are gonna pay $50 more, I wouldn't. Because if I wouldn't buy that piece separately for $50, let's just put it this way, it wouldn't enhance or degrade my display because of that. So this is the Fortress of Solitude. It's actually a pretty nice backdrop. And this is Superman by himself. That beautiful, beautiful figure, as you can see here from the boots. And this is like around 8 years or 7 years old now in my possession. And you can see the nature of the fabric is beautiful because you can stretch it out. You don't have any worries when you pose him. The chest piece, which is the emblem, is one of the most, I would say, problematic one in some collectors that I've seen because it does peel. Although on mine it hasn't really shown. It's more like what do I call this? Like one of those iron-on kind of on the t-shirt sort of thing. So you can see there, you can kind of see the edge. Mine is not peeling, but I've seen some that did. Now, luckily, you can buy maybe the if it does happen, I believe there's some people who just sell just the outfit, even though this is, I would say, a little bit better than the third-party ones, but at least there's options out there. And the boots, it's one whole piece, so you don't really get any ankle articulation. But again, it's still pretty cool that it's the way it was done. There's a seam in the front and in the back, but I think it doesn't hinder any movement whatsoever. But it still looks very, very nice. And going up here, the suit itself, having this for a while now, and the cape, by the way, we didn't talk about the cape. It is, there's a wire underneath, so you can pose it around. One of the few instances, really, that Hot Toys has done something on the cape. There's like a few, I've never really noticed this while I was viewing the figure, but there's some black marks on, at least it's not, what do you call this, stains or whatever. But as you can see from there, there's like a push button on the cape. So I've never really seen one that made a custom cape for this guy, but I suppose if you want to, it's a lot easier compared to the Man of Steel Superman, which you have to, when you want to do a modification, you have to completely, I guess, just disassemble the figure, which is I'm not a big fan of. But but the suit itself, it is nice. You can see here from the bottom, and another look at the boot. And that's one of the head sculpt. As far as the head sculpt, it is one of Hot Toys' finest, even after all these years. That I can fully tell you. The eyes, they've come a long way. Let's just say from MMS 68 and all that stuff to what we have now, as far as Hot Toys is concerned. However, this is one of those figures who aged pretty well. For someone who is 7 years old as a figure, Hot Toys technique has changed over time, as we've seen. Their worst figure nowadays, it's still pretty good. Even let's say, I'm not a huge fan of the Eric Killmonger head sculpt, but that's still pretty awesome. But this guy is just spot on. The eyes, if I have to complain something, the eyes could be a little bit better as far as painting is concerned. But then again, we're talking about a 7-year-old or 8-year-old figure here, so I can forgive them with that. But the shape of the face, just the overall paint and all that stuff, it is still a work of art up to this day. So if you are planning to pick this guy up, I would say you'll get your money's worth. Really, you see that you can play with the lights, set the mood with this figure, and as far as a close up, that is Christopher Reeves right there. Hair, yes, the hair sculpt. I've never dropped the figure. Yeah, like I said, the eyes. It's kind of, the blue is so bright, I suppose, and it's so, I guess, just strikingly bright, and you can see when you go a little closer, his eyelashes is just kind of like weirdly painted, which you won't see in their newer sculpts nowadays. They're a little bit more refined, but again, those are minor faults that you can see from them 7 years ago. So, and this is the figure itself. So the cape flows nicely, even though it does have wires. And I wish they would give us an option moving forward, so we don't have to buy custom capes. Give us two capes, Hot Toys. One has a wire, so we can pose it around, and the one doesn't. Charges an extra $20. We're fine. I guess most collectors would willingly pay $20 so we can swap out capes willingly. You've done most superheroes, at least the ones we like, Thor, Captain America, Batman, Superman. Most have capes, and we would like to have the option to swap out those capes. Sometimes you want it flowing, sometimes you want it post. So Hot Toys, if you are listening, they probably aren't. I hope they do that next time. And I'll put them in a few poses. This is the flying pose. This is Superman, and as far as the costume, you can see it's all fabric. It's stretchable, so there's really no. And I've been doing this for around, as long as this guy, and as long as I've been collecting Hot Toys, and I've been posing him around in different poses, especially back in the day where I only have one Hot Toy, which is him. So this guy have seen mileage as far as poses is concerned, and he's still pretty stiff as far as joints, and the costume has held up pretty well, as you can see. And this is him with a dynamic flight stand, which he doesn't come with because that wasn't a thing back in the day. So, but I do have so many of these things, which is I'm actually not a big fan of dynamic stand unless I am taking a video or a picture of something. But posing it every day, I think that clamp does something to the figure. Especially if you have like Iron Spider or something like that. If you have Iron Man, I think it's good because it's okay. It's die cast, but for something like maybe for him as well, it's okay. But something with the Vision, for example. Just have too many horror stories with this clamp, so doesn't really use them in an everyday purpose, but they are pretty handy, when you are taking pictures or doing videos like this, because they are secured, and they can give you several options as far as display is concerned. But every day in a cab, And this is him, right, just size comparison wise, next to the Armory Batman, aka DX12. So whatever you want to buy, this is the most common thing if you are kind of new to collecting. It was like, I'm just gonna buy Superman and Batman, I'm done. That's what I said to myself when I was beginning, if you watch my other video, and yeah, that didn't happen. And this is him compared to Tactical Batman. We all know Christopher Reeve is a taller man, but Batman and the Ben Affleck Batman has always been a beast when it comes to its height. I forgot to compare him here to Henry Cavill, but he is a normal size Hot Toys figure. He's not oversized. He's not that wide. He's pretty decent when you try to compare him to other figures. He's nice when you actually put him right next to the Tim Burton Batman, the Batman Returns and stuff like that. I think he just meshes well with them. and also the Adam West Batman, because I used to have them, and just playing them together just looks terrific. And this is it, guys. I know it's an older figure, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Superman fans out there. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of old school films out there. I mean, yeah, out there, and maybe you're trying to pick this one up. All I can say is, if you find this on eBay or Amazon or wherever it is on your local guy, I would pay as much as, it's an older figure, but depending on the quality of it, I would look at the suit. You know, I'd rather see it in hand. I'll pay maybe $300 tops for this guy. No, maybe no more than that. But if you really like the figure, there's really no value to it. But you gotta take a look at the suit. Make sure there's no stains on it, because it is fabric, and the joints, because it's an older figure, and also, you know, if there are any scratches or anything on the head sculpt. Peeling on the chest, that's the only thing that I can tell you to look after if you are in the market for this. But other than that, it's a beautiful figure. You'll get your money's worth. So thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Like this video if you thought it was helpful. Share it, and watch my other videos. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next review.